That is where the Second Amendment came from if you study your history. WABC, Meg, you're on the Savage Nation topic, please.
Dr. Savage, you are beyond brilliant. You are my hero, my teacher, my mentor. Wow. I am a 46-year-old woman who lives in Sandy Hook, Connecticut. I have 2 children, a 13-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Uh-oh.
My absolute hardest job as a parent is to convince my 13-year-old son of the devastation and the violence of video games.
Because, but here's the thing. First of all, he's not alone. I have friends who have children that age who are addicted to violent video games. So all the kids are. They're all hooked on them.
Well, would you help me? I mean, you talked about banning them. I would think they should be banned 100%. I think a coalition should be started here in Newtown. We are the.
Well, you know how. Well, okay, you should be the mother right in your town. Pardon me, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, MAD, right? Yes. Why don't you start a group called Mothers Against Violent Video Games? MAVV. MAVV, Mothers Against Violent Video Games. See if you can get 10 million signatures within a year. I can guarantee you, I'll help you. And start at Newton, Connecticut. That would stop this this violence coming out of the minds of these video manufacturers. It would also send a chill through the Tarantinos, the Tarantellas, the Weinsteins, the Spielbergs, and the others whose stock and trade is violent movies. Start with the video games. They're the most vulnerable.
You're telling me 10 million signatures.
You don't really need 10 million. If you got 100,000, you would get Blumenthal to pay attention. Isn't he isn't he a senator from your state, old Blumenthal, the ultra, Mr. Lib Blumenthal? Bring him 100,000 signatures banning violent video games. See what happens.
Banning violent video games.
Okay, call it Mothers Against Violent Games. MAVV, MAVG, Mothers Against Violent Games. Mothers Against Violent Video Games. Started in your town. Now, don't tell me that you weren't affected, I hope, directly by this massacre, were you?
I know two of the mothers. There's 9 Catholic funerals this week in my church. I'm going to about 4 of them.
Meg, how do the parents ever come back from this? I mean, between one person to another with many people listening, there's no coming back from this, is there?
Faith. Knowing that the horror of these tragedies will be turned into the paradise of eternity because these children were taken to eternity. That's what our faith teaches us as Catholics.
You're a very lucky woman.
The bridge that they have, there's a bridge, Michael.
I understand, but see, I have a different view of the world. I'd like to strangle anyone who hurts a child. I'd like to annihilate his memory from the earth. I would like to stamp out the DNA from the earth's memory. I don't have such compassion for people who do things like that. You're a lucky woman that you do. I don't like to turn the other cheek. I'd like to tear the other cheek off of the man who did a thing like that. Fortunately for all of us, he did it to himself because God help us all if he had had a trial. Just God help us all if one of those lawyers from Yale came up and talked about his bad childhood. I'm sending you a copy of Train Tracks. God bless you. Mothers Against Violent Video Games. Good idea. Start it.